November 6, 2013. Guys, this is part 3 of the series about the Great Comet that wiped out the Chinese fleet south of New Zealand. If you haven't seen those, go back and check them out. But it traces all the way back to this very object, and it's so unique because we're going to encounter the same thing that they did back in the 1400s. Now, this is called 2003 EH1. It's a celestial body that's now classified as a minor planet. Now, it's Peter Jenkinson proposed the asteroid as the parent of the Quadranten meteor shower. It is likely an extinct comet and may even be related to Comet C 1490 Y1. Now, Y1, guys, as we look at this ISON chart, 1490, that's the one they named that wiped out the Chinese fleet. It exploded, and they had looked for a parent object that may have survived it, and they found it, and now they're calling it a minor planet. I'm going to show you more about that. Let's look at the current location of ISON. It all ties in November 6, today's date. Notice it's between the orbit of Earth and Venus on the incoming path. And then it's laying down a debris trail just like a meteor shower. And we go through them for hundreds of years. This is a new object. This is going to be a new meteor shower. Pay attention because we're going to get to the quadrants. Now, check it out. And we're going to go up in time here on the 13th. Now, the 15th is when we're crossing the middle of the incoming debris trail, or you might as well start calling it ISON's meteor shower. Okay, now, at that point, we'll be crossing it for about a week. It's going to go through January 15th, will be dead center. But what's happening is the quadrants this year, and every year we get them about between the end of December and the middle of January, because they're scattered for a long period of time. Now, the lead object that they found, this 2003 EH1, is, excuse me, not lead object, but largest object or parent object, is not in the front of the meteor shower. It's going to be about 2 months behind the very first objects in December, up to 2 to 3 months. But the perihelion of the sun is in March. You see that, March 12th, 2014. Now it's categorized as a minor planet. So what, and I'm going to show you the JPL on it. And my point here is that we're going to have a new debris trail that we're going to be crossing horizontally as we're crossing through a vertical meteor debris trail or meteor shower that's one of the newest ones around. It's 500 years old. It did not, they have traced this thing back to the explosion in 1490, where again hit in the ocean south of New Zealand and wiped out the Chinese fleet and wiped out civilizations in that area, villages and wildlife. Again, like I said, Easter Island. But the magnitude at 16.4, this is based on JPL models. That's going to put this object, and I'll show you, at about 12 kilometers wide. And this is how they'll do it. You're saying the nucleus is up to 12 kilometers if you'll read the whole thing. Now, 12 kilometers, if you'll take that, 1 kilometer is 0.62 miles. Okay? So 12 kilometers is 7.45 miles wide. Now, this is about 3.5 times bigger than ISON. The nucleus that they're saying is the size at 3.5 kilometers. Okay? Not the outer comma, but the nucleus. So we've got a 7.2 mile object that's in the meteor shower that they're calling a minor planet. Again, that's for 500 years we do it. Now, we go through the meteor shower once a year, again, through the holidays. Now, the actual small planet or the minor planet comes around every 5.5 years or so, just under 6 years. But that meteor shower has spread each year, and they say every time it occurs, and I want you to stop this and read it, gets near Jupiter, it will throw that trajectory off of the entire meteor shower and spread it out. But they're going back here and they confirmed, if you notice at the bottom, that 1490, the parent comet that exploded and gave us this new debris trail, was seen, and they're relating it to that, again, New Zealand comet. Now, this year, if you see the green dot in the center, that's where the center of the quadrant will be coming from. Again, it's going to peak in January, north by northeast. You see that northeast by east, guys? Now, this is the 1490 comet. It's not really, it doesn't really exist. What they've done is track the orbit by observations up to 1490. You can take this JPL and run it for 600 years. It'll go back to 1600 up to 2200, but it doesn't go back to 1490, and it will never show you another close approach. But they hadn't, because they never, what they call, recovered the object. But this is the JPL for it, and you can see here it was last observed 1491, January 22nd. That's when it exploded and created the meteor shower we're talking about, guys. Now, the way they trace this, and because it has a very similar path to the quadrantid meteor shower, and that's how they found the small or minor planet 2003 EH1, is because it has the same path. Comes right between Earth and Venus as it comes through. And now here's where I'll read some of this. It says, stones fell like rain in the Qing Yang district. The larger ones were 4 to 5 caddies, and the smaller ones 2 to 3, about 1 kilogram. Numerous stones rained in Qing Yang. Their sizes were all different. The larger ones were like goose eggs, and the smaller ones were like water chestnuts. More than 10,000 people were struck dead. All the people of the city fled to other places. And this is, they went through, if you'll pause these, the JPL has went through and verified some of this information, guys. It's very, very, very interesting, because we're about to see all of this coming together with a new debris trail from ISON. The point here, and I'll show you as we go through it, is that as we're coming in January 15th, and in that week, crossing ISON's trail, it will be coming horizontal. At that time, and that's going to be a brand new event in the inner solar system. It's going to be crossing the quantities, coming vertical, straight down. Again, I'm going to show you more of that. And this will tell you, if any of this you want to pause about, it goes back into 1490 with the Great Australian Tsunami. And that's an interesting read in itself, guys. It would take several videos to do it. Now, this is the JPL for 2003 EH1. They think this is the largest object left from that comet 1490. It has the same JPL. You can see the crossing patterns in it. Now, its close approach is in Mars, and so that's telling us that if we're starting to get into the debris trail at the end of December, how far out in front, think about it, that objects that exploded from the main comet are ahead of the main object. And this goes to, we may not only be dealing in January with ISON's debris trail. There's a possibility, because I believe we have multiple nuclei inside that inner comma, but if that does not maintain and it splits apart, we're not sure of the path, especially as it slingshots around the sun and comes back over us. And then we've got other comets, and they're going to be there, Lovejoy and Inky, that are be in different areas. But at this point, November 5th, that's yesterday, as I was putting the date at the start of this video, you notice that. It's not a big deal. Today's the 6th. But that's where EH1 is, above us. And it's coming down. Now, remember, ISON's coming in from the right from Mars. This one's coming down at that angle. So we're going to be crossing, and I'm going to put this on January 15th, and that time frame. So we move this back. Now, what we got, the Earth, Moon, and Venus will be halfway through the debris trail of Ison. That's that light blue arrow that I've drawn through there. It's already going to be crossing through, at these opposite angles, the quadrant and meteor shower are the remains of Comet 1490 that has EH1 in the middle of it, the 7.2-mile wide minor planet, they're calling it. But this is just, I think it's 10 years ago they discovered this minor planet. Now let's look at the couple interesting things here. Today's date on the JPL, ISON JPL 3D model. One is now our speed is increasing. I'll show you that. Here's the Earth, here's ISON, Mars, and you can see if you draw a line between the Earth and Mars now, it's inside that line. You see there, it's you've got 128 million kilometers. Let's go to the seventh, 124 million kilometers. So from 2 million to 3 million miles a day now, guys. And it will reach up to 7 million miles a day the couple of days that it's wrapping around the sun. You'll see that increase. That's fast. Now, let's look at this. I'm going to go up into January 15th, and you've seen me do this before. But as I researched this comet that wiped out that Chinese fleet in 1490, this is where it led, all the way back to this. And it's remarkable the timing of this. The minor planet is out of its 5.5 year or so orbit is coming in within a month of ISON with its trail. But there's you're seeing crossing, starting to cross the orbit there. And that's a straight line. That debris trail is not going to be in that thin blue line, guys. It will be spread out. Okay, so we've got about a week. We're going through this. Don't know the intensity of it yet. It's brand new, and every year that we can see this, we're going to go through a new meteor shower this way. The green line is the path of the Earth and the Moon. The blue arrow is ISON's incoming trail. The red arrow is going down is the cross of the Draconids. Now, like I said, they've been here 500 years, but ISON's debris trail hasn't. Are we going to have a pool ball effect, like busting the pool balls, guys? Don't know that. I look at the possibilities. I'm going to upgrade as we start getting into that more and more, guys, but it's a heads up. Be safe.